Alright, so the new socket is in, and let's pop in the CPU and see if it fires up. Before doing this, let me also straighten out the legs a little bit more with this straightening tool here. Quite handy. I mean, pins are a little bit bent in one direction or the other, but well, it is what it is. Yeah, it's definitely a firmer grip with a new socket, and so batteries are in. So ideally, all I have to do is turn on the power and the machine will boot up. Fingers crossed. Yeah! Oh wow, look at that. So it booted right out of the box. But in my previous experiences with this, when I had initial boot, sometimes as the machine warms up, so to speak, it is getting more and more difficult for it to boot later on. So I'm not sure why that would be. Some thermical effect based on, a little bit of heat that's being generated. If it's really like a microfracture on the motherboard, then that might be happening. But yeah, so usually sometimes I got an effect that after 20 minutes or so of operation it starts to freeze, and then boot became impossible basically. So but for now, I mean, I think actually replacing the socket seems to have fixed the issue, right? So yeah, I was doing so many Rex CPM with the NSC800 mod installation that I constantly, at least 10 times or so, swapped in and out the NSC800 board. And this has quite a bit of thicker pins because it's made from basically Arduino pin headers. It's like a CPU board which plugs in there. So that might have worn out the sockets more than an ordinary, CPU there, because the metal is simply thicker. So, I mean, that's looking very promising now, and I hope it runs stable. So I let it run now for 10-20 minutes, write a basic program and see if it freezes or goes blank after a while. But yeah, I think that might have fixed the issue. Also, I put a little bit more solder here at the joints of the crystal. So, well, after all, I don't think the crystal was responsible after all. Alright, so I think I'm a step further now, and you can tell that this machine was really driving me nuts, right? Because I really did not think that it was a mechanical issue. That's the last thing you basically suspect, at least, I am, because of these sporadic errors, machine freezing or failing to boot after it has been running for like, a long time stable. And you see I replaced all kinds of chips by now. For example, this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here. All of these are socketed by now because in my diagnosis attempts I suspected them to be responsible for erroneous behavior, and I sacrificed basically another spare board which wasn't running stable in order to harvest these chips. And of course, I mean, putting in sockets is a bit of an effort all the time. So yeah, I even socketed all the RAM chips, as you can see here, right? So the option RAM here always has these pin header strips here, the sockets, but these are usually soldered in. So that was quite a bit of work to also socket all the RAMs basically here, right? As you can tell, and unsoldering them in the first place. So yeah. But I'm very optimistic now that this seems to have fixed the problem. And currently Steve has my NSC800 board, and also the CPM, the Rex CPM, as well as the modified EEPROM ROM you need for running Rex NSC800 CPM. And because I thought, something is wrong with the NSC800 board, but it turns out to be, it was really the Model 100, at least for this machine. Unfortunately, I have another machine which also has a no boot issue, and that no boot issue only shows up with the NSC 800. So after all, well, but if NSC 800 would be running in this board again, that'll also be awesome, right? So one way or the other, I think we are one step closer to getting the machine and the NSC 800 board stable again. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.